Hello guys, welcome back to the KMTRADERS channel. This is the full market analysis volume 37. So essentially we're going to be looking at all over the charts what's happened last week, give you our analysis for this week, and again guys, I do hope it brings value to you all. So in summary, what we saw this week, again, we pretty much saw a very slow momentum in the markets. It was a lot of, very choppy sideways moving markets, and you'll see that. But in comparison to the previous week, there was a lot of moves. So again, I'd say that this is just a breather in the market, and for this week, I do expect a lot of moves to, come out to play. Because there's a lot of liquidity in the market. Now I can just feel that there's going to be a few drops in the market. So I'm going to be covering some of the pairs that for today, and gold and EURJPY we'll cover tomorrow because we want to give a bit more detail for those pairs. Okay, guys. So starting off with NZDUSD. Pretty much we've had this slow progression to the upside. Now last week or the previous week, ever since we mentioned this, we have been looking for a sell-off opportunity to see if we can actually push lower. We can see that we're stepping up ever so slightly. Momentum is slowly pushing up, but if we take a look at the RSI, mentioned from last week, we did have this divergence in the market. So essentially, just to remind you that this is where price and the price action peaks is different in relation to the peaks on the RSI indicator. So this is a pre-warning for myself that momentum is slowly dying out. Now in terms of retracement, I could be looking out for a possible move into the 618 or the 50% fib, just as a rough estimation in terms of targets. But this could be an ideal place to look at. So if we do get a drop here, again, if we were to simply target the 50 fib or the 618, so just over 200 pips, so there's a good move in that. So that's obviously a nice swing. So that's where I'm looking out for this week for this pair. Just a push to the downside. Was looking at last week, pretty much last week, we had a bit of an aggressive sell-off. I personally thought I missed this, but it quickly zapped back up, and it's still trailing. So this is still good because the more it pushes up, there's more possible downside opportunity to essentially take profits in. So that's all for that pair. AUDUSD, pretty much the same story. Trailing, you can see that this is trailing off nicely to the upside again. If you were to draw a channel as such, and you can see it trailing off to the upside. So I am looking for the same thing again. Pull out the fib, take it to the low, to the high, and you can see how this could have this projection again. I'll pull out the RSI in a second, just to show you if we do have any divergence, but I am looking for this move again into the 618 because this is obviously the golden fib. You can see how there's a divergence here. There's the overbought, and this is the dipping down, and there's a difference here. So I hope you can see that. And again, I think there's enough. Yeah, there is a good enough opportunity here. There's 200 pips on the table here, and obviously you can go further. It just really just depends. But ideally, this is the move you want to be looking out for. Partly, you can see that NZDUSD and AUDUSD have the same situation here, where we had that sell-off here, capturing liquidity, pushing it higher. Retail traders are going to be thinking that it's going to be pushing higher, but ideally we could see that sell-off very soon. So just keep an eye out for that. USDJPY, start of the week, huge impulse to the upside. Now we can see now it's trailing to the downside. Ideally for myself, I am looking quite bullish in this. I want to see price take out 105.6. So there is a lot of momentum being in there. So for us to get into this, we're going to have to wait a bit further, and see if we can really get in on lower time frames. And if you check out the RSI, you can see that that divergence was clear, and we had that push towards the upside. So taking a real indicator of this impulse move here, and we're going to keep a close attention on that and see if we can spring more towards the upside. Similar situation with the JPY pairs, but for now, CADJPY, I'm still concerned about this. This is why I'm staying out of this for now. I mentioned this on the last full market analysis that we're in a long-term wedge here. I still think I need to put more time into this personally, but ultimately I'm just staying conservative about this and just watching the approach. I'm also keeping in consideration of the other JPY pairs how I have the bias towards the upside. So if I was to pick a bias for now, it would be towards the upside, just purely based on the other confluences of the other Japanese yen pairs. And adding towards that in terms of price action, we can see that strong momentum towards the upside, taking out some lower time frame lows, lower highs, and then we could see a minor progression towards the upside. But again, I'm personally going to stay out of this until I'm a bit more confident, and I will probably provide a bit more update on this pair in the future. EURJPY, similar thing here. What I want to see happen is price to get to this top here, this zone, and I think we could see a potential reaction towards this. Multiple support resistance here. We could see a potential retracement. But yeah, ideally I want to see how price reacts to this zone here, if we get higher or if we can push lower. So that's going to be my first sort of situation first. So seeing how price reacts towards the upside, and then if it's aggressive and we push higher, then we can look for continuations. But if we are seeing a rejection any type of way, we could have that retracement soon. So again, just to keep out that one. NZDJPY, I am looking out for a retracement on this actually. Pretty much we can see how we've just been stepping up all this quite consistently. I think there is a lot of opportunity to come back into roughly the 50 to the 618 fib. I can see quite good potential there. You can see the indicator RSI showing divergence here, a down step to the downside. Excuse me, right there, and you can see how prices peaking differently on the upside and downside. So yeah, this RSI indicator is useful. I wouldn't necessarily lead it as a a condition to enter, but for the way I personally use it is a warning sign. So if at any point I'd need some confidence that we could be pushing lower, I do use that RSI, and it is a very good warning for myself to see if we are pushing lower or higher. Divergence is a very good sign of switching of momentum. So again, this is why I'm looking for price to move into here. So it's around 200 pips again. So we can see that we're seeing some good potential in the market this week, and this is why I'm quite excited for it. Again, AUDJPY, I am looking for, we can see how we're pushing into these, we've got like a triple or quadruple top being formed here. I'm going to notice, going to keep a watch out for this high here, because in relation to, I think it was your EJ, we could see price, peak up and then drop to the downside, so something like that. So if we get something like a push and then lower down, that's that's the route that I'm keeping an eye out for. Ideally I want to sell, but and the reason why I just want to take a retracement of this move, again the 50 to 618, pretty much these targets are ideal, because it gives you a a confidence level in terms of what it can do. But again, I'm pretty much looking out for this sell-off at any point as 200 pips. So if we can capture that, again, that's just brilliant. Again, moving on to USDCHF, this pair just been slowly pushing lower. I am waiting for price to make and take out this low, and then we're going to see how price reacts to this. I haven't really got too much to say for this pair because it's been really sideways. Again, this sharp move to the upside has caused a lot of confusion for people, but I do think we could take out this low, so I'm staying cautious of that. And finally, USDCAD. Again, I am waiting for this low to be taken out, and then this could be another great opportunity to take in and take advantage of. I think that we do have a lot of liquidity around here, and we could absolutely pop towards the upside. A good 400 pips, 1.34. A possible, look into that pair. I'm going to probably take good consideration into this pair next week. But yeah, there's absolutely a lot of pairs that we're coming into, change. Ideally, NZDUSD, AUDUSD, not so much USDJPY. I guess you can continue. Well, that one's okay. You can pretty much look into 105. CAD, not so sure. EJ, sell off. NZDJPY, that might be a good one to keep and look out for. AJ as well. USDCHF, I'm a bit. USDCAD, yeah. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 pairs, and then gold is going to be a good one, and EURJPY is going to be a good one as well. So I think next week is going to be an absolute rocket. NFP week as well. So we could possibly, that could be the possible reason why there's going to be a turnover. So there's going to be a lot of pairs being on point, going to be moving. So again, preparation is key. I do hope this video does give you an insight. I will be preparing for tomorrow's video, so make sure you subscribe for that. And of course, if you do have any comments or questions, feel free to let me know, either in the YouTube section or on our social media. We do also have a Telegram group that you can join. Link is in the description. If you are new to this channel, I do hope this video does bring you value. And again, I do appreciate your time for watching it. So thank you very much for listening, guys. And I'll see you guys all in the next one.